The manhwa starts with a demon castle. We then hear a man laughing, saying that he can't believe a mere lowly creature dared to come all the way here with that filthy body, but that he admires his skill. He begins releasing one hell of a killing intent, and we learn that the man he is talking to is the Archduke of Steel. This is the Demon King, ranking number 7. Named Parza. The Archduke of Steel smiles, telling him to shut up, as his era ends today. We learn his name is Han Jae-woo. He charges forward using the Empire Sword, 12th form, called Slayer. As he charges an attack overhead, he yells, telling the Demon King to take this, only for a status window to appear directly in front of his face, catching him off guard, telling him that connection to the server has been lost. Parza laughs, saying that he's full of flaws. Jae-woo tells him to wait and stop, and starts to get embarrassed, as he has now failed the Warburg's Parza raid, and that the warrior Jae-woo failed to clear. We hear some people in his apartment asking if he's still playing the game. Another one says that'll wake him up. The guy tells him to shake him gently. But we see his arm wrap around the cord as he unplugs it. Bro drops a log in his pants, saying uh-oh. As Jae-woo glares at him, he asks if he was the one who unplugged the Ethernet cable. The guy apologizes. Jae-woo tells him that he was basically done with the raid. And the other men say to stop him. Jae-woo explains that he might look like a gaming addict, but he actually used to be very popular. He was Hanam's problem solver, but also their big brain money goblin. He used to live a very good life, but then he realized how little all of it meant. As something catches his attention, he looks at a VR capsule and says that all of the things he had been so obsessed with were a waste of his time. The game he's been playing is Super AI Aquilia's VR masterpiece called Guardian of Humanity. This place had changed him. It is a single-player RPG with a giant open world. For him, who had not even read a picture book, this world was pure magic. Plus there were beautiful characters of various species, and their stories drew him in. But not only that, it also changed him, someone who used to only care about money. And they ended up borrowing some, all in order to buy a game capsule worth $1 billion. And that you could probably call him crazy. The guy that he's on top of asks how he can treat him like this when he's the one who invested money into him so he can game. Jae-woo laughs, saying that he understands, but he covered them more than just a few times. One of them was caught golfing behind his wife's back, another one was running 2 jobs behind the company's back, and one was simping for VTubers for 10 years. He's had his boys' backs. Bullcut asks if he really thinks he's the one to talk when he borrowed $1 billion just for a game. Jae-woo glares at him, and the guy instantly folds, saying that he didn't mean it. And they ask how he's going to pay that back just by writing a walkthrough guide for others. As he went through struggle after struggle after struggle within the game, figuring things out, we see him typing away at his keyboard. He opens up his bank book, and we see a bunch of negative withdrawals to the point where he's practically out of money. The guys tell him to just work with them again, as he is Hanmom's problem solver after all. Jae-woo says no. He hasn't even seen the ending of the game yet. The true ending that nobody has been able to reach. Reaching the true ending is the least he can do to repay this world for having taught him so much. He tells them that the workday is over, and to go home. They ask about the interest he has to pay, and that they're still believing in him. As he closes the door, he turns back around, heading over to his capsule. He immediately boots up the game, as he logs into the world, specifically in the Baird Cathedral. It says due to his death he is suspended from actions for 22 hours. He says he forgot he got disconnected, but he wonders how he's meant to earn money. We hear a woman saying that he looks like he's struggling with something, and when he turns, she starts to spawn in directly behind him. He asks her who she is, and she says that her name is Aquilia. She is the game master of Guardians of Humanity. He starts laughing, asking if this kid is being serious. She says that he should not judge a book by its cover. He says that she is his type. Oh God. He then laughs, asking if she thought he'd believe her because she appeared out of nowhere and called herself Aquilia. She snaps her fingers as the entire world around them gets paused. He says this must be the time-stopping spell, and that's at least the SSS rank skill. She says it's not a skill, she just shut down the server for a little bit, asking if he believes her. She says that she came up with a new event for the 7th anniversary, wondering if he's curious about it. At 12 p.m., a new world will open, and she tells him to be the first to clear it as a new character. He says he hasn't even cleared the game as this character yet, and wonders if she's out of her mind. She tells him the reward will be $25 billion. Then she starts teasing him, asking if he's scared, instantly fueling him. She says that she also thought he wanted to see the true ending, as it might exist. The clue is to reach it, she means. He looks genuinely taken aback and goes to reach towards whatever she's holding in her hand, but she tells him to wait, as she puts it back in her inventory. She says that if he gives it a try, he might get a free gift. As she has sent him 30 million won, he starts saying this is crazy. She says this is all because he is her VIP, as he is number 1 in score, and he's higher than almost the next 3 combined. He asks if she's kidding, and he says it won't even matter if he doesn't manage to clear the game, and he'll be safe for this month's interest payment. He tells her that he'd be an idiot to say no to this event, and he'll give it a try. She says that she knew he would say this, as expected of the top player, and she'll send him in right away. She starts speaking enchantment table while her eyes zone out, and a halo appears above her head. Her whispers continue, as feathers begin flying, angel wings appear out of her back. A rift in time opens directly above her, and she says, installation. All of the NPCs in the world begin fading out, and when Jae-woo looks around, he sees himself on a moon overlooking the planet. She tells him that the door behind him will lead him to the new world. He asks if that's the Anywhere door, which is a joke about Doraemon, and if the game will start when he walks through it. She says yes, and he starts smiling while reaching towards the door, opening it. Then tells her that she better not forget about the reward money, as it's time for him to get the true ending. She says that she almost forgot to tell him that if his character dies in this event, he's gonna die in real life too. But he's already 1 foot in, and he asks her why the hell she forgot to tell him this, as he's already falling through the sky, landing in a random forest. He wonders why it hurts, because he's in the game, but also if that girl was really serious about him dying. He starts shaking, pissed, but says that he'll do this shit just to show her up. It is time for the former Archduke of Steel to start the game. It jumps to some time later as Jae-woo is struggling to walk, saying that he's so thirsty and that he will not forgive Aquilia for doing this. He opens his status window, and we see that he's dehydrated, and he's already on the brink of death, only having 3 health left. He says that he can't believe that his max health is only 20, and he only has 3 mana. This character is straight cheeks. He's only walked for half a day, and he's already dehydrated, so how the hell is he supposed to get the true ending with this character? He then hears the sound of water dripping and instantly locks in. He finds a river and starts crying, saying, thank God for Bear Grylls, as he was about to drink his own piss. And he's really glad this game is so realistic. He starts drinking the water as his health goes up and up. Why he wiggling his ass though? Off in the distance, there's a woman in the river, which he notices. As he sees her naked back, he starts drooling, but due to being so excited, he lost 1 health. He wonders if this is who he thinks, and as she starts to turn towards him, his eyes light up as he is about to get blessed. But instead, it says that he needs to pay for the DLC. He asks why the hell they are making a VIP pay for the DLC, and he thought this was the complete edition. Then a group of women call out to him, saying that he has to pay up to see what's after this, as they start surrounding him. He turns surprised and asks how much. We then see him get thrown into a room with another man. As he's looking up at them, we see the woman who was bathing telling him to stay still, calling him a lewd brat. He only has 1 health left. She says that if he keeps quiet, she'll consider leaving his pants on. The other guy asks if he's okay, and Jae-woo asks how much he has to pay for the DLC. They start laughing while walking away. The man asks what he's talking about, and Jae-woo says it's nothing. The guy introduces himself as Rudd, a monster hunter. He introduces himself as Valor Steed, Valor, not sure where the name came from. Asking how he ended up in here. Rudd says that he was unlucky because he ended up coming near the witch's forest while chasing his prey. Jae-woo says that sure is some bad luck. Rudd says now it's his turn to tell him how he got here. Jae-woo says it's something just like his story. He doesn't want to tell him that he was peeping. Rudd says that he's not sure what he went through, but it's unfortunate since he looks so young. Jae-woo tells him it's fine, as this kind of situation is his specialty. Rudd asks if he has a way out, to which Jae-woo says of course he does, because he is the one who wrote the guide on how to defeat these witches. It took him 3 whole days to get the plan all the way out. The 5 Witches of Havel, this title was given to them because they make their appearance in the Havel forest. Their names are Gunda, Kaldura, Aldaida, Fugel, and lastly, the one he was peeping on crazy style, Hijuju. Even though they're early game bosses that players have to get past, thousands have died to them, so they're pretty infamous for that. But if you look closer, they're very unorganized, as Fugel and Hijuju are arguing. Jaewoo then calls out to Fugel, saying that he's so glad she's alive. The status window tells him he is now provoking her. He says that he clearly remembers Hijuju saying that she'd kill her. Hijuju tells him to be quiet, and he looks back over, as Fugel is telling her to hold on a damn minute, asking who's going to kill who. His provocation has worked, because she hates Hijuju. Jaewoo says that he's also pretty sure he heard her say that she's going to kill her and take all of her assets. Rudd asks if he's serious, and even Fugel starts buying into it, asking if she actually said this. Hijuju sighs, asking why she believes this. She then says it's not like Fugel is going to use all of her money, so she should give her some. The status window then says she's very greedy about taking assets from Fugel. Aldaida is oblivious to reading the room, and says that must be why Hijuju was making an acid bomb. Next is Gunda, whose biggest issue is she has a big appetite, so she asks where the food is. Finally, Kaldura is in love with fighting, asking if she can join in. As they all start screaming and yelling at one another, Jaewoo turns into a freak, making Rudd regret being locked in with him. But it's all going according to his plan. One might think that they work as a team due to their title, but they have no teamwork whatsoever. People fight without knowing this, and that's why they've managed to kill so many people. It's so easy to make them fight with one another. As they start pulling each other's hair, Jaewoo tells Rudd they should take this chance and dip. Rudd says he sure is something else. As Jaewoo goes to leave, he grabs onto the rug, saying that before that, he has another idea. As he pulls it from underneath them, causing all of the witches to stumble backward, landing into one of the pots. They start screaming one after the other. Jaewoo tells Rudd it's time to leave. Jaewoo laughs, saying these witches are stupid, and they sure do give a lot of experience, despite being dumb though. Something flies towards him as it wraps around his leg. It's Fugel's snake, and it has now ensnared him, meaning his movement is now limited. She tells him he's cunning, and she refuses to die alone. Jaewoo tries kicking at the snake, but he misses multiple times, and he tells it to get the hell off of him. He forgot that his character is hella weak. Rudd says he can help. As he starts to unsheath his blade, he slices, cutting the snake's head off. He asks Jaewoo if he's okay, and Jaewoo thanks him, then asks if he can borrow his bow. Rudd asks if he's good with it. Jaewoo takes it, as we see it has 15 attack and 30 range. Jaewoo says only a little bit though, as he aims directly above the pot towards a giant potion. The arrow flies in, shattering it, and they all look up. Hijuju says that's no good, and starts shaking. Fugel asks what that is. Juju screams, saying it's the acid bomb she's going to kill her with. Fugel also begins screaming. As it makes its way down towards them, getting closer and closer to the pot's liquid. As it comes into contact with it, it creates a giant explosion, and a rock lance hits Jaewoo on the head. Taking one of his health points, Rudd asks if it's all over, and Jaewoo says to stop giving flags. But he gets an achievement called "These Witches Ain't Shit." Multiple status messages appear, saying that he has defeated the Witches of Havel Forest. He has also obtained 320,000 experience points and 5,000 achievement points. Jaewoo says they're definitely dead, to which Rudd says that's good. He got really lucky at a low level, and all he has left is one more thing. Rudd tells him that he thought he was done for, but he saved him. Though he thinks this might be too much, asking if he'll accept this as a gift of gratitude, and he gives him red dragon fruits. Jaewoo says this is unexpected. He doesn't remember it in his previous playthrough. Rudd says that since they looked valuable, he took them from the witch's nest. Jaewoo thanks him as he swipes them and begins chugging them. Bro turns into Broly, and the status window jokingly calls him a Dragonborn. He now has 220 health, and his other stats are skyrocketing as well. 100 strength, 120 dexterity. He says a normal player like him would never dream of having something like this, and he got very lucky. Rud smiles while looking at him, and calls out to him. While Jae-woo's still chewing, Rud asks if he's interested in monster hunting, while shaking out his hand. Jae-woo's confused because what appears is a relationship route with a monster hunter. Jae-woo finishes his food and tells him that he's got things to do instead. Rud says that must mean he's a busy young man. Jae-woo realizes this is a good opportunity. He doesn't have a class, so all the amounts of experience have nowhere to go. And if he leaves it like this, it'll disappear in a month. Rud goes to leave, but Jae-woo says he only has 3 months, and he wants to know if that is enough or not. Rud laughs, asking if he doesn't mean 3 years. They head deeper into the forest, and Rud says he'll give him his first goal. He can go deep into the forest and hide wherever he wants, he'll come after him in 30 minutes. Jae-woo says he's immediately going for the monster tracking skill from the hunter's skill tree, and he's making quick progress. He's explored this forest countless times, which means one thing. He knows the location of everything within it, even down to some of the little twigs. These dense trees that throw off your sense of direction mean nothing to him. There are poisonous spores from the scattered toxic mushrooms and ferocious beasts even more dangerous than the witches. Most of it is already imprinted into his mind. Plus with the red dragon fruit, his physical abilities are nearly maxed out for him currently. So he won't be found too easily. At least that's what he thought, as he's looking up anxiously. Rud says peekaboo. Jae-woo is confused, and Rud says that was 50 points. But because of his passionate effort, he'll give him 10 bonus points. Jae-woo asks how the hell he did it, and Rud says that his face is full of curiosity. It's been a while since he had a student this fun to teach. But they should give it their best shot. He has now completed the quest, the hunter's hazing, and it has now been updated to the hunter's trial, since he has acquired the monster hunter class. It also gives him the herbalism skill, intermediate swordship skill, survivalism, and musket shooting, as well as the tracking skill, which he starts laughing at and puts on an evil face, saying he can't wait to work well with him. We get a whole 3-month time skip, and Rud says it's impressive he's mastered everything already. Jae-woo says that if he doesn't believe him, then he wants his master to go hide somewhere. Rud pats his shoulder, saying that he admires his spirit and he'll try hiding. But if he doesn't find him within an hour, then he's making dinner tonight. Jae-woo says of course, that he's looking forward to it, and when he leaves, Jae-woo smiles. Bro is actually just a villain. Rud begins climbing, saying that he's glad to have met such a great apprentice, even if it's late in life. But he shouldn't make it too hard for him, and if he just hides by the cliff, he won't find him in an hour. But as he's climbing up, we see Jae-woo pop into frame. Then he grabs onto his leg, and when Rud slowly turns down, he's making an oh shit face, and Jae-woo says peekaboo. Rud asks what the hell, and then he thinks it's a fluke, so he does it again, and again, and again. Rud says that he can't believe he mastered the skills he spent 5 years learning in 3 months. He heads deep into a cave this time, saying there's no way he'd find him. And he looks nervous as he gets deeper in. He says that this is a hellhound's nest after all. Jae-woo laughs, saying that tip number 1 from the Guardian of Humanity is that even earthquakes won't wake a sleeping hellhound. He asks if he passes, and Rud says he guesses, and he congratulates him, saying that he mastered the skills super well. Jae-woo says it's to do with his teachings, but Rud says it's just his talent. Instead, it was because Jae-woo maxed out all of the skills using the witch's experience from when they met. Rud tells him that's really incredible, and he even remembered all of the monster ecology tips he gave him. But he doesn't remember teaching him about hellhounds. Jae-woo says it's because he's the actual author of monster ecology. Rud laughs loudly, saying that he's never met anyone like him before, and he's definitely going to go far. But he's curious as to what he'll do now, and if it will be that task he mentioned beforehand. Jae-woo says the first things first is he's going to make tons of money, as everything starts with cash. Rud tells him that's good, because he has a close friend working as a mercenary, and he can try that. Jae-woo thinks about it, as that's a pretty intriguing proposal. Mercenary work is the go-to for early income. More importantly, it's free and flexible, and if he's lucky, he might even meet the guardians of this game. Rud tells him to take this, as it's his old mercenary badge, and with this, his friend will recognize him. He then wishes him luck, calling him Valor, and Jae-woo thanks him. He says with this, he even defeated the witches and gained a class, and this is a perfect start. At this rate, even a true ending might not be too far out of reach. As he looks down at his hand, he recalls Aquilia's words, about if he is also wanting to see what it is, saying maybe it does exist, a clue to the true ending. He goes to log out, but it's crossed out. He says that he never knows when he'll die, but it sure is exhilarating. He'll make full use of this tension. He slaps his face, telling her to wait, as he'll reach the true ending. He has now completed the quest, Hunter's Trial, and now on a new one to join the Mercenary Guild. On the moon, watching all of this from a tiny little TV, Aquilia is losing her shit, saying that sure was priceless, and she's glad she kept an eye on him. Somebody appears behind her, asking if that's them, saying that he's definitely not an ordinary guy. Aquilia starts blushing a little bit, asking the other woman if she's into him or something. And we see another deity, named Valfura. Valfura says that she is a god, wondering why she's supposed to look at a human she's meant to protect in that way. Aquilia says why not, since he's cute. Valfura doesn't even laugh at her joke, and Aquilia says she's always so serious. She used to be more fun back in the day. Valfura tells her that was a long time ago. Asking if she really paid off all of his debt. She says that was settled ages ago. Valfura says that's low-key a little messed up, as he doesn't know his debts are paid, and he's still working for it. Aquilia says that's the fun of it, to which Valfura says she's ruthless. Aquilia tells her that it's super entertaining and to look at him, as she's still blushing. She says that he's so full of life. Valfura calls her awful, and Aquilia thanks her. Valfura then asks if he's part of her plan as well, or just her plaything. Aquilia thinks about it for a minute and adjusts her seating position, saying that he's more like a promising talent, and her eyes look a little yandere. And she says that she just wants to keep watching him. Back to Jae-woo, he sighs, saying his legs hurt as he falls to the ground, exhausted. He wonders why this forest is so damn big. It's only with his current stats that he can make it out in half a day, but it's time to move, as the mercenary corps is waiting in this town directly in front of him. A bell rings, and some women in maid outfits welcome him to Francois, the best tavern in Frankfurt. They ask how they can help him. He says that he's looking for someone, and one of the waitresses says that they'll show him to a seat. He says that as expected, the tavern is the classic spot for intel gathering. It has drinks, lively folks, and the smell of good-ass food. If any place could get him info on the mercenaries, it would be here. And people always talk more when they're in a good mood. And above all, the waitresses are mad cute. Jae-woo then asks if anybody here knows someone by the name of Rabies Schultz. The good mood immediately falls deathly quiet, and they all freeze up. One of the waitresses tells him that name is forbidden around here. Jae-woo asks why, and the other one is freaking out as well. She says that he's too dangerous. Her boyfriend got involved with him once, and he came back a mummy on the brink of death. Jae-woo starts freaking out, and two old-ass dudes start talking to one another about their adventures, and Jae-woo just wonders who the hell Rudd introduced him to. The waitress says that he needs to run away, as he'll be here any minute. Jae-woo asks why she's so scared, and then he feels his face rub against someone. He wonders who it was as he glares, asking who it was. And it's none other than Schultz, who he's looking for. He spots the badge on Jae-woo's waist, saying that this is Rudd's. Realizing he must be the guy, laughing, saying this is perfect, and he's looking for a new battle slave, rather, companion. Jae-woo asks him what he just said, and says Rudd is an asshole. And then he's gonna kill him the next time they meet, because this dude's a freak. Jae-woo says in the end, he's a slave to be dragged into the war between the Prince Elector and the forces of Pizamit. Schultz says he sure does catch on quickly, and he sure is a smart kid. Jae-woo says even though he feels like he's getting conscripted to some country's army, this is a great opportunity. Also, the Prince Elector is a guardian of this game. Through him, he might get information on the other guardians. A horn begins blaring, and Schultz says speak of the devil, here he comes. But the game warns Jae-woo that this is an ambush, taking 30 health points away bro as an animal, as they are now watching the Prince Elector ride by them. Schultz says he'd fit right in with that group, but Jae-woo says this is different from what he expected. He's used to being on the opposite side of these things, but the Prince Elector this time looks kind of like a villain. Jae-woo is completely caught off guard by something, saying that he can't believe she's here, as we see a woman with long blonde hair riding atop the horse. He says that he did not expect Dame Walpurgis to be here. The Prince-Elector glances over at her, asking if there's something wrong since she seems distracted. She says no and tilts her head down. He warns her the battlefield awaits, and Jae-woo explains that she was his companion in his previous playthrough, but he couldn't save her in any of them. Because every single time, she would die to the same monster, which is one hell of a creature, and he says that he couldn't overcome the barrier. Schultz asks if there's something wrong, but Jae-woo says no. He's determined that even if he has to risk his life, he will reach an ending where she lives. They head to the mercenary group, as they're all training, practicing with real swords. Jae-woo says this is pretty intense, jokingly asking if this is the Marines. Schultz laughs, saying that it's already starting, and they're going to be selecting group leaders through sparring matches, and there's money on the line as well. Jae-woo says pride and cash sure is one hell of a combination, but all he needs to do is make contact with the Prince-Elector, and he should stay quiet for now, and he says okay. Schultz asks if this means he's participating. And Schultz grabs his shoulder, saying that he's participating too, and there's no way Rudd would send somebody clueless. Jae-woo asks why his opinion doesn't matter. But Schultz then asks everybody else in the training grounds if they want to go for a run with the newbie. Everybody gets excited at fresh meat, saying they'll go first, and Jae-woo wonders if he's not even allowed to object. But he guesses he'd better show some power before he meets the Prince-Elector. Everybody gathers around as one of the men is standing before Jae-woo. His name is Max, telling him that it's nice to meet him. He wonders what's with his body though, since he looks like a twig. Jae-woo says that bro's shirt has run his mouth, and his body gets thousands of likes on Instagram. Schultz then asks if both sides are ready, and if they are, then they can begin. Max begins screaming while charging in, and we see his sword flying through the air, making everybody look surprised, as Max got defeated in a single hit, giving Jae-woo 15 fame. They ask what the hell just happened, but Jae-woo says this is to be expected. After eating the dragon fruits, his strength is on par with an ogre at the moment. The rest say that they gotta know what's going on, and they want to fight too. Jae-woo starts to get overwhelmed, saying one at a time. He uses his intermediate swordsmanship to defeat one of them, gaining 15 fame. Then ties one up, what the hell? Then headbutts another. Some bald guy tells them that this is getting ridiculous, and they're all embarrassing themselves against a rookie. His name is Charlotte, even though he's built like a professional bodybuilder. Jae-woo wonders what's with his size, asking if he's even a human, and he says this is too much and needs to quickly combat log. But he remembers that he can't log out, and says that he needs to rest a little bit, but Charlotte says not a chance, as he leaps directly towards him. Jae-woo says fate sure does suck, but since it's come down to this, he'll settle it properly. Grabbing onto Charlotte's arm and his clothing, he hits him with a monster slam, which is pretty much just a judo throw, slamming him straight down into the concrete. Charlotte dies on the spot, and Jae-woo gains 30 fame, saying that he was way too heavy. They can't believe that Charlotte lost, but Schultz starts blushing. They start gathering around, telling him that he's a monster for beating Charlotte, and while he's scrawny, he's got a crazy body, but they also want to fight. Schultz tells everybody to move aside, as he starts laughing evilly. Jae-woo says that he must be nice to him because he's his friend's apprentice, but rather, Schultz is saying that he's chosen, and he's going to be the new group leader for this battle. Jae-woo starts having an existential crisis, as everybody cheers him on. They start donning armor. Jae-woo wonders what the hell he's gotten roped into, as he has now completed the Join the Mercenary quest, and the new one is to retake Harfheim Hill.